We're going to train all of those ground-based telescopes on the Didymos Dimorphos system, and we're going to make measurements that will help us determine just what its orbit looks like now relative to what it was before. So it's going to be great. Very cool.
All right, this is when science, engineering, and a great purpose, planetary defense, come together, and it makes a magical moment like this.
Yeah,
really.
Absolutely. And you can see so many people there that have made this happen. The team of APL engineers that have really poured their souls into this mission.
Lori, any last words to mark this historic moment?
Oh, we're embarking on a new era of humankind, an era in which we potentially have the capability to protect ourselves from something like a dangerous, hazardous asteroid impact. What an amazing thing. We've never had that capability before.
Thank you so much, Lori. Those are poignant last words. Tahira, history has been made. Back to you.
Wow. I mean, what an exciting day for the DART team. And in case you're keeping score, humanity 1, asteroids 0. Now, I'm here with Nancy Chabot, DART coordination lead. Nancy, talk about a moment to catch on camera. What is going through your head right now?
I mean, I'm just thinking, wow, that was amazing, wasn't it? I mean, those images, you just got closer and closer, and sort of we've been planning for this moment. We've been talking about it for years. At APL here, we've been working on this since 2015, and I knew, I've been talking, this is the images that we're going to see, and they're going to be spectacular. And I think even then they exceeded my expectations of just zooming in like that, and, it really is just such the team accomplishment, and to get to this moment over so many years. And I don't have to talk about it as coming anymore. It's happened now. We have done this.
It's happened, and it is just incredible that as humans, we have done this. We did this. And Nancy, do you have anything you'd like to say to the teams who made tonight possible?
Oh, I mean, I don't need to say anything to the teams because I know everybody like me is really proud to be part of this, right? Proud of this thing that we've been working on for years, and even before 2015, internationally, people wanted to do this. People wanted to take this first test. And then we finally did. Partners across the United States. We have actually 28 countries represented on our investigation team of scientists, telescopes on all 7 continents, everybody doing their part to make this moment happen. I know I'm really honored to be on this team, and I know other people on the team feel the same way.
As you should, Nancy, and I mean, there's a lot to celebrate here tonight. And so now that we have confirmed impact, can you let us know what's next for this mission?
Well, I mean, I think I'm still taking a moment here, because this is a big deal. And this was a really hard technology demonstration to hit a small asteroid we've never seen before and do it in such spectacular fashion. But I know other scientists on the team like me are already pointing at those images being like, did you see that boulder? Did you see that smooth area? Did you see the shape? What does that mean? And Lychee Cube is flying by right about now. Their close approach, taking images, and they're storing them, and we'll get those in the next days. Telescopes here and in space are they're looking at the brightening of the rock that's thrown off from that spectacular collision that we saw, and this is going to go on for weeks, and so there's still a lot of excitement to come, but nothing to take away from this moment.
Yeah, this is just the beginning. It looks like everybody is celebrating here in Mission Operations. I think I just saw Bill Nye there. And so it is a huge day for this team, but also for humanity. Nancy, you mentioned earlier about some of the international collaborations. And could you give us an idea on kind of the scope of DART's mission, right? It's not just us in the United States that's focusing on this. So can you expand a little on that?
Yeah, I mean, planetary defense is really an international issue. We are all on this planet together, right? And I think it's been so great for this mission to really support and embrace that international cooperation for planetary defense so that we can maximize what we learn. And this idea came about from international scientists talking to each other, working together, in order to make this moment happen for NASA's Planetary Defense Coordination Office, building the spacecraft here at APL. But really, scientists around the world are ready to get study the, what did we do to Dimorphos, but more importantly, what does that mean for potentially applying this in the future? I mean, DART really is just the start. It's just the first planetary defense test mission. It was spectacular, and it's accomplished, and we'll figure out how effective it was. That's really what we're going to learn in the next weeks to come. All right, we hit this asteroid. Now, how effective was that at deflecting it, and what would that mean for using it?
Yeah, there's still so much to unpackage here. And so we have a special guest who is wondering, you know, more of what's next for this big mission. So let's hear from her now.
Hey everyone, I'm Danny Hansen, American Paralympic rower and hydro athlete. And first, I would like to congratulate the entire DART team on crossing the finish line. So congratulations. And with that, here's my question. Now that DART has impacted, how will you know if the spacecraft has actually changed the asteroid's orbit?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I mean, so this is a double asteroid system. So all we've done here actually is change slightly how Dimorphos goes around Didymos, right? And the telescopes on the Earth have studied this for years. So we knew it used to be 11 hours and 55 minutes.
Now.
What is it going to be now? And so the telescopes are going to measure that period change. And they're so good at this. They've done it for decades already to get us to that point. And they're going to work for the next weeks and make that measurement. And when we have it, we're going to be sure to share it with everybody to see how much we did deflect this asteroid with the DART collision.
Wow. Well, Nancy, I mean, it's time for you to celebrate. So congratulations on everything tonight, and go DART.
Oh, go DART. This was spectacular.
Yes. And so we have Samson standing by in mission operations with two very special guests. Let's hop over there and see what's going on.
Thanks, Tahira. I have the pleasure of introducing NASA Administrator Bill Nelson, who has a special message for us.
Hey, congratulations. Boy, the DART team, you really did this one very well. It's been a successful completion of the first part of the world's first planetary defense test. And there were years of hard work. There was a lot of innovation and creativity that went into this mission. And I believe it's going to teach us how one day to protect our own planet from an incoming asteroid. I really look forward to learning all about what's happening from the observatories so they can tell us about the changes in this asteroid's orbit. So thank you to this international team. We are showing that planetary defense is a global endeavor, and it is very possible to save our planet.
All right.
That was eloquently put, Administrator Nelson. Joining me right now are Deputy NASA Administrator Pam Melroy and APL Director Ralph Semmel. Thank you both for being with me. Pam, I'll start with you. How are you feeling having witnessed this historic event up close?
Oh, I was absolutely elated, especially as we saw the camera getting closer and just realizing all the science that we're going to learn. But the best part was seeing at the end that there was no question there was going to be an impact, and to see the team overjoyed with their success.
It's beautiful. What does this mean for NASA? What does this mean for planetary defense?
Well, NASA works for the benefit of humanity. So for us, it's the ultimate fulfillment of our mission to do something like this, a technology demonstration that, who knows, someday could save our home.
Very powerful. Thank you, Pam. Ralph, you were in that mock for the moment of impact. We've seen a lot of major milestones in APL's history in space. We're talking the first flyby of Pluto, the first mission to orbit Mercury, and now the first spacecraft to impact an asteroid. What was the moment like for you in there?
It was incredible to see how so many years of hard work and creativity resulted in a direct hit of Dimorphos was just an adrenaline rush. I'll add that I've been at the lab now for quite a few years, and I've been involved in a lot of missions and achievements, and never before have I been so excited to see a signal go away and an image to stop.
Ralph, I'm going to give you both a treat right now. We're going to play that replay of impact on our screens right now so we can enjoy it again. Ralph, what does this achievement mean for Johns Hopkins APL? Huge, right?
Oh, it is huge. And in fact, if you'll excuse the pun-like statement here, the impact on APL, as it was on Dimorphos, is immense. This is exactly the kind of mission that APL seeks to do, a never-before-done mission. I'd like to thank NASA for entrusting us with this mission, and I'd like to tell everyone how proud I am of the entire DART team and APL for this game-changing achievement.
Incredible. Thank you, Ralph. And we are watching that replay right now on our screens and just admiring that remarkable achievement once again.
They were just tiny blobs of light, and now they are real objects to us, which is amazing.
Never before seen up until today.
That is amazing. You know, it's just as good the second and third time.
There's that drop off, knowing we made impact.
Fantastic.
Well, there you have it. A lot of pride here tonight, along with the promise of big things to come. And with a successful DART impact, that will do it for us today at the Mission Operations Center. Back to you, Tahira.
Amazing. I mean, today is a fantastic day. And DART is just the beginning of a global planetary defense effort. In 2024, the European Space Agency's Hera mission will conduct follow-up observations of asteroid Dimorphos and measure in great detail DART's kinetic impactor tests. Let's take a look.
The DART impact is going to be an incredible moment, something we've been looking for over 17 years. My name is Jan Carnelli, and I'm leading the Hera mission for the European Space Agency. The deflection by DART will be measurable from ground with telescopes. However, only with Hera coming up close and inspecting the asteroid will unveil all of those parameters that will allow us to plan for a deflection mission if one day we need one. This is the propulsion module of the Hera spacecraft that will take us to asteroid Dimorphos and will allow us to study the results of the DART impact. The propulsion module is being built here in Italy and then will be sent to Germany, where we'll be mated with the instruments and the rest of the spacecraft to be ready for launch in October 2024.
We started designing and conceiving the whole mission and the spacecraft about 2 years ago, and we have a launch date to meet that is a fixed date in October 2024. So it's challenging, but we're making it possible. You could say that Hera is really 3 space missions in one. We have one, the main spacecraft that we are currently building at OHB in Germany, but we also have 2 smaller missions that are spacecraft in their own right. Those are the 2 CubeSats, Juventus and Milani.
The CubeSat I'm working on is Milani, which will perform spectral measurements and dust detection following the DART impact. My name is Margherita Cardi from TEVAC International in Italy. We will work alongside the other CubeSat, Juventus, which will perform kind of an X-ray of the asteroid to understand the internal structure.
This is going to be the first time that we have CubeSats on board an ESA spacecraft. Once we arrive there, we will be deploying the CubeSats in order to complement ESA's scientific observations, taking more risk, but also trying to have higher rewards.
The CubeSats will be installed on 2 panels that will be mounted on each side of the structure of Hera. They are just the size of shoebox, however they contain complex technology which will really allow to bring added value to the Hera mission.
Hera and DART represent a fantastic international collaboration between NASA and ESA. The 2 missions complement each other and will validate an asteroid deflection technique that we could use in the future to protect planet Earth.
There you have it. Tonight, we've ushered in a new era in planetary defense. At 7:14 p.m. Eastern, the DART spacecraft targeted and collided with Dimorphos, showcasing a technique that we could use if a hazardous asteroid is ever on a collision course with Earth. Even though impact is over, the process of moving the asteroid is still going on as we speak. Over the next days and weeks, we'll be monitoring Dimorphos from all angles, tracking its change in orbit with ground-based observatories, studying the impact crater and ejected materials with space telescopes, and we may even get images from missions like Lucy, Hubble, and Webb. Now, don't miss a beat. For mission updates, follow Asteroid Watch on Twitter, NASA's Solar System on Twitter and Facebook. Remember, impact was just the beginning. Science and images will be rolling in soon, so stay tuned to nasa.gov/DART. We'll be back at 8 p.m. with members of the team to capture reactions and celebrate this historic event. So join us soon on nasa.gov/live. And for more updates on Artemis and rollback operations happening tonight at the Kennedy Space Center, head to nasa.gov/Artemis-1. Thank you for watching NASA's coverage of DART Impact from Johns Hopkins Applied Physics Laboratory in Maryland. We want to give a special thanks to all of our guests for participating in today's broadcast, and a big shout out to my co-host Samson Rainey for keeping us keyed into the action. Go DART, and good night.
California, this is NASA's launch coverage of the double asteroid redirection test.
In a galaxy where asteroids have pummeled planets for billions of years, now one planet strikes back. For the first time in our planet's history, NASA will test an asteroid deflection technique. It's the first planetary defense method of its kind. NASA's double asteroid redirection test will intentionally ram itself into an asteroid and alter its orbit forever. At the crossroads of science fiction and reality, DART is part of our plan to defend planet Earth against potential future impacts. The test to protect the future of our planet begins now.
This SpaceX rocket will launch the DART spacecraft on a 6 million mile. And thank you for joining us here inside the NASA hangar at the Vandenberg Space Force Base on the central coast of California. I'm your host, Daryl Nail, and joining me is Kelly Fast. She is a program scientist with the Planetary Defense Coordination Office. Welcome, Kelly. It's great to have you here.
Thank you, Daryl. It's fabulous to be here helping to cheer DART off the planet.
Now, right at the top, let's talk about this. Are there any asteroids threatening Earth that we know of?
Now, thankfully, there are no known asteroid impact threats to Earth. You keep tracking them. We don't know of any. It's the one that we don't know about that we're concerned about, but that's why NASA surveys for near.
And this asteroid DART is going to hit. What's the story there?
Well, the asteroid Didymos, does not pose an impact threat to Earth. It keeps its distance, it gets no closer than 3.7 million miles to Earth's orbit. But that's what makes it a fabulous test situation for DART. We can go safely test an impact, the kinetic impact technique, and Didymos is the perfect laboratory for that.
Okay, and this spacecraft, is this something that could one day save the planet?
Well, what's nice about this, I mean, it's a nice mature technique, kinetic impact. You just impact something, but now we're actually going to test it. So this is going to be really good to have something in the toolbox that we've actually tried, taking it from modeling to an actual test.
Well, it is certainly exciting just to hear you talk about it. And when that moment happens in the fall of 2022, when that impact happens, that's going to be quite a moment.
It's going to be amazing.
All right, Kelly, thank you so much. And there's so much more to discuss about asteroids, planetary defense, and the DART mission. So let's get right into it with a quick breakdown of the DART spacecraft. DART has a mass of 670 kilograms, about a golf cart size or vending machine size machine. It uses hydrazine thrusters for propulsion and roll-out solar arrays for electric power. Now, DART has just one instrument on board, and there it is at the bottom, and that instrument is a Draco camera, which will feed images to an autonomous navigation system steering it smack dab into an asteroid. Now, here's how DART got here. It was pulled by this semi-truck 2,900 miles across the country from the Applied Physics Lab in Maryland all the way here to the Vandenberg Space Force Base. It took the team 46 hours to make the trip. You see that box right there? That's the protective container that was removed and is being stored here in the NASA hangar while this DART spacecraft was carefully prepared for the launch and then put into that protective fairing. What a beautiful shot that is, Kelly. And then earlier this month, engineers mated the DART spacecraft inside its protective fairing to this SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket, which you see here, and DART's at the top of the rocket. It was then rolled out to the launch pad at Space Launch Complex 4 East, where it is now awaiting liftoff at 10:21 p.m. Pacific, 1:21 a.m. Eastern Time. Now, as we follow pre-launch operations, we also have some cool stuff to show you along the way. Our own Kelly Fast will give a fun demonstration. There she is. She's going to help us visualize a close approach asteroid, and she's moving quick. We'll also head into space where two astronauts will demonstrate in microgravity the kinetic impact technique that DART will be using. And also, this is kind of fun. We'll hear from a Hollywood director, Adam McKay, about his new science fiction comedy, Don't Look Up. It's about an Earth-ending comet that he'll compare with reality. Check on launch operations and introduce our launch commentators for today, NASA's Marie Lewis and Denton Gibson. Marie, preparations have been going on for many hours. Where do we stand right now?
Well, at the moment, Daryl, everything is still go for launch. We listened to polls just a few minutes ago internally with the spacecraft team and NASA engineering. No red flags, everything looking right on course. Want to introduce our commentator who's making his debut launch commentary tonight, Denton Gibson with the Launch Services Program. You're a mission manager, no stranger certainly to Falcon 9 and missions like this, but this is your first time in the commentary booth, so welcome.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here. It's launch day, so I'm looking forward to this.
And the teams on console have been going through their steps methodically since a little before 7 o'clock this evening Pacific time. There is a live view of the face, and in less than a minute, we expect to hear the NASA launch manager, Omar Baez, poll the NASA team for launch readiness and readiness for propellant load to go ahead and proceed with that. If that is all go, that will begin at T-minus 35 minutes.
All right. And the reason why you hear this poll at this point in time, because there's so much going on much later in the process. So they try to have the poll early so that way the team can focus on the telemetry and focus on the data coming from the rocket and really pay attention to everything that's going on leading into those last few minutes.
And we're just standing by for that NASA launch manager poll.
This is the NLM net with our propellant loading poll, starting with NASA CE.
NASA CE is go.
SMA.
SMA is go.
SMD.
SMD is go.
NASA mission manager.
NASA MIM is go.
LSP.
LSP is go.
Team's ready to proceed in the cryo tank.
NASA teams to make sure that they're ready to go to proceed with propellant loading and launch. That's the various teams that you heard